Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about 7 lessons I learned whilst running a plumbing and heating business for 10 years. So grab a cup of tea and let's get into it. So to give you a bit of background, I ran a plumbing and heating business with my partner for 10 years. And during that 10 years, we experienced the whole range of problems that I'm sure lots of other businesses experience. Everything from financial difficulties to trying to make a profit, to customer service issues, to finding the right staff, keeping the staff, and dealing with the fallout when they leave after they get their qualifications. We also had things like leaks and also the occasional dog bite to throw in as well. So I learned a lot from that 10 years of business and I wanted to share that with you. So the first lesson is from a book I read a few years ago. And it's called Profit First, and if you want to know more about it, I've done another video that explains the concept. We didn't actually use this in our business from day one, and I really wish that we had. So in a nutshell, the Profit First method encourages you to prioritise your profit and pay yourself first, and only work with the money that's left for your expenses. In practical terms, you take the money that's coming into your business and you put it into predetermined percentage pots for each of the big costs. So for example, you take 15% of your revenue and you put that into your profit pot first. And you take 25% for tax and you divvy it up so that you have all of your money put aside in pots, and then whatever is left is for your overheads. So this means that you always work to what you have left and you're never overspending. And that also means that when you have a big bill that comes in, you have the money put aside already to pay for it. The benefit here is the peace of mind that you get from knowing that you can pay all of your bills on time and you're going to be getting the profit that you deserve from your business. If I was to set up another plumbing business in the future, then I would set it up with perhaps a Starling bank account or Monzo or Tide, or basically any one of these challenger accounts that allows you to set up pots within a single account. Because this means that your bookkeeper is going to love you because you only have one account, but you're still able to follow that profit first methodology. And that's really important for simple accounting, but at the same time, you're only looking at the money that you have left over on a daily basis, and you're not looking at your total account sum. So that's really important for being able to focus on the money that you have left. Lesson 3, I would plan properly for big costs. We took on premises a few years in, and we signed up to a 6-year contract. Now, one good thing that we did was ensure that there was a break clause so that we could exit the contract early after 3 years. And that's what we ended up doing. But what we didn't do is we didn't make sure that we had an emergency fund and we didn't do any proper risk planning. So if I were to do this all over again, I would sit down and do some proper risk planning. Ask myself questions like, how many months can we survive with no or less revenue coming in? What are we going to do if one of our key members of staff leaves or gets taken ill, so that we would be better prepared for that kind of eventuality? So the fourth lesson was a really important one for me, and this was the idea of setting boundaries. So I didn't really understand the concept of boundaries when we started the plumbing and heating business, but basically it's the idea of deciding what you're happy with and what you're not happy with. So I'd recommend that you decide in advance what hours you're going to work and the hours you're not going to work, the work that you want to do and the types of work that you definitely do not want to do. And also things like how and when you're going to take holidays and time off, and how will that be decided. So the next thing you have to think about then is how to protect these boundaries. And you can do that in a number of ways, by communicating your hours clearly, communicating the services that you offer, and making sure you've got little things like, lesson 5, having a separate work phone. This was the next lesson that I would take, and actually a lesson I didn't listen to for myself for my second business, which is the business that I run now, and that's job management software kind of consulting and expertise, basically helping trades like you. So I didn't learn that lesson from my second business, so maybe in my next plumbing and heating business I'll pick it up. But basically the idea is that you have a separate work phone from day one and separate to your personal phone. And the primary reason for that is because you don't want to have to put your personal phone number all over the internet, but you also don't want it saved in your customers' phones because that can be really difficult to change. The other benefit of having a separate work phone is that you can more easily protect those boundaries. So you can put it onto voicemail after hours, or you can send it off to a call answering service and not interfere with phone calls from your friends and your mates. Lesson number 6 is working with a business partner. Now, this partner might be a romantic partner or a friend or some other person that you've met through the industry. And I think the rules are all the same for whatever type of partner it is you're working with in business. Having spoken to a lot of other business owners about this, I believe that the best way to manage working with a partner is making sure that you have clear responsibilities and basically separate departments. And this means that each one of you can play to your strengths and work to a clear division of responsibilities and take ownership for that. So the other thing that you can do when you're working with a partner or with someone else in your business is decide in advance how you're going to communicate your progress. Are you going to have regular meetings? Are you going to talk to each other weekly or monthly about the things that are going on in your area or your department, or about the decisions that need to be made? And the other thing that you can do is you can decide what you're going to do when you can't make a decision. What happens when you just can't agree? What decision-making kind of framework will you fall to? How will you solve these disagreements? So by deciding that in advance and coming to terms with the idea that there are going to be times where you don't see eye to eye, and having a plan for how you're going to tackle that and how each one of you deals with conflict and deals with disagreements, is going to help you massively. So the final lesson, lesson number 7, is the idea of creating a knowledge base. I wish for the plumbing business that I'd done this from day one. Again, started it late and it was very hit and miss in terms of writing up standard operating procedures and how we did things. But it's something that I've carried into my second business, and I now have a database of basically all of the tasks that I do in my business and how I do them. So this is mainly just a list of lists. It's a set of bullet points for each thing that I do in my business and how I do it. This means that you're basically building a list of instructions as to how your business is run. And by getting into the habit of doing this from day one, it means that it doesn't feel like a big deal and you don't have a whole ton of instructions to write when you're ready to expand. So this can be everything from the script that you use when you speak to your customers, to specific plumbing jobs and how you do them, to how to quote for a job, to any of the admin tasks. So the benefit of doing this is that once you've got these things written down, you can start to optimize those processes. You can improve them. You can add time-saving options. You can put all of your equipment in one place so it's easier to get hold of next time. You can get an extra bit of equipment, or maybe create a template, or write another email that goes to customers. You can look at how you can optimize those processes. And the other major benefit is that it means that when you're ready to expand your business, you can easily delegate those tasks to other people because you've got a list of instructions as to how to do every part of the business. Thanks for watching. I hope you got value out of this video. If you liked this one, then you might want to check out this one over here, which is all about the profit first system and how you can apply that to your business. So go check it out. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching. Do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one.